The moviegoer is very trusting. When a movie opens with the title scroll, we believe it, or when a film says it's based on a true story, we decide that we have no reason to doubt. There are many brilliant openings to films, but for a film that plays with expectations as much as 500 Days of Summer, there is no better opening than this simple refrain. The following is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to any persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Especially you, Jenny Beckman. Bitch. The moviegoer may giggle, but they've been thrown massive amounts of information, knowingly or not. 1. Our perspective is tainted. We've been lied to before the films began. We were led to believe that this was fiction and then immediately shown that it was not. 2. The movie is not going to be painting the female character in any kind of positive light. This will be important to remember as the film unfolds. 3. We're being toyed with. To be told one thing and then shown another immediately should leave the audience skeptical. But then we see our two characters with only 12 days left in the movie's timeline holding hands, and she's got a wedding ring, and we hear,
"This is a story of boy meets girl."
So what has happened? Well, the audience gets a couple of choices. The logical response is to accept what's been told at face value and know that these characters will not end up together. However, since we've been shown that the narrator has gone back on what they've said, and we've seen evidence that they do end up together, most choose to ignore this on their first viewing and charge forward expecting the Hollywood ending. They'll be punished shortly. Now we get two very fun sequences back to back. The opening credits are genius. We see these two growing up separately, and yet their respective scenes begin to interact as if they are star-crossed lovers. Then we have Tom's sister show up to stop him from destroying his stuff. Immediately here we are shown that Tom's prepubescent sister is smarter and more mature than him, and yet a few seconds later when Tom presents the viewer with a montage of everything going right, we believe him because it's a movie.
Things were going so well.
But then we rewind and get a number of scenes of Tom and Summer falling in love or whatever, and the movie progresses normally enough that the audience decides everything is okay. Even with clear red flags for the relationship, like Tom believing in quote-unquote the one, while Summer doesn't even believe in love, or Tom being unable to communicate his feelings, or their life priorities being extremely different, or the fact that everything in this scene is brown except Summer is blue, showing that though she is interesting, she does not even remotely fit into the rest of Tom's life. The presentation in this movie is so good. Okay, even with all that, the moviegoer, who is the big dumb, just turns a blind eye to all of this and wants Tom and Summer to get together. You know who wants the audience to want that? The movie. This is all very intentional, and the way that the audience has been conditioned to expect romance and happiness prior to this film is something that it very much understands. It even is pretty forward about this with lines like,
This belief stemmed from early exposure to sad British pop music and a total misreading of the movie The Graduate.
And of course, eventually with,
It's these cards. And the movies and the pop songs, they're to blame for all the lies. And the heartache. Everything.
But we'll get to that moment soon enough. Dropping back in, there's the sequence of Tom saying everything he loves about Summer, which of course is mirrored later with everything he hates about Summer being the exact same scene, showing themes of perception, unreliable narration and such, and we'll get back to that later. And then the IKEA sequence, which is adorable, but we'll mostly skip over to get to a key moment right after.
This is fun. You're fun.
Thanks.
Hey, I just want to tell you that, I'm not really looking for anything serious. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because some people kind of freak out when they hear that.
No, not me.
You sure?
Yeah, like casual. Take it slow.
No pressure.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, if you haven't figured it out by now, we're seeing everything from Tom's perspective. There's, of course, the surface level expectations of the woman being the one to want to keep things casual and the man wanting to be serious, which is dichotomy already acknowledged. But on a deeper level, the audience and Tom have both been explicitly told what to expect from this relationship, and yet the scene ends with a music swell and them holding hands, so once again, this stupid baby audience decides that she is either lying or they'll get past this. And this might even be on a subconscious level. The film, of course, doesn't give you enough time to just sit there and think, was that part of the truth? Am I being manipulated? But it clearly works because just about everyone I've shown this film to has been shocked by the end when things don't go as they're expecting it to. Imagine, for example, if this scene ended just a few seconds prior and the music does not come in. Suddenly you're a lot less hopeful of the two of them. It's choice after choice of this that makes the audience decide they know better than what they're told. And of course, the next moment we flash to, Tom is speaking to himself and thereby the audience about how Summer says she wants to keep things casual but is wanting to have sex, so there must be a disconnect. There's a bit of hidden fun here. Basically, Tom and Summer have very different definitions of casual, which was shown just a moment before when Tom said, take it slow. His perception is that if they do things like have sex, they aren't keeping it casual, and it is no coincidence that the film plays these moments back to back. If the film is doing its job, and it is, this sex scene feels like confirmation that Tom is winning Summer over, when in reality she's done nothing to contradict what she said she wanted, which to her was just a lack of romantic attachment and not fulfilling the roles of boyfriend and girlfriend. Then we get some whiplash. We get the band sequence, which plays on just about every old Hollywood trope imaginable to show how great things are in Tom's life, immediately followed by this.
I'm gonna get Alfredo's number.
Okay.
And I'll bring it to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Solitaire?
So did you get her back yet, or what?
Working on it.
Hey, maybe you should write a book.
What?
Well, you know, Henry Miller said the best way to get over a woman is to turn her into literature.
That guy had a lot more sex than me. Oh, is it?
So great to hear from
Oh,
you. I can't
that
this
doesn't
week,
feel
but maybe
good.
next.
Zoe Deschanel
Hope
better
the
sing
things
the
are
Knight
ready
Rider
to be
theme so
friends.
the audience, can forget all about how bad I feel now. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. Oh yes, happy movie. We get a bit of whimsy. Summer likes Ringo Starr. Tom and Summer watch and reenact a porno. It's great. And then we get this.
Like, if you look up. Fine Arts Building. The guys who designed this, Walker and Eisner.
Okay, Tom is fully in his element, and we get this song. This happens to be the only song in the entire film that repeats itself, mind you. I wonder if that's an important intentional choice that we'll be coming back to, and we see the world as Tom sees it. The buildings are beautiful. Tom is getting to share his passions with this girl that he loves, and after being shown Tom's world, Summer actually invites him into hers, and we get the moment that shows that maybe, just maybe, everything is going to work out.
I've never told anybody that before.
I guess I'm not just anybody.
Couple small things worth pointing out. This is the closest Summer gets to really wearing brown, symbolically being aligned with Tom. Tom is also shown wearing the same shirt he's worn as a kid, showing that he hasn't matured much at all. Of course, there's also Summer's secret fear of loneliness that she brings forward, which feels almost like a confession rather than confinement, but we ignore all of that because, you get it by now, it's a movie and we have these expectations. Unfortunately for the hopeful viewer, things are about to start spiraling down. We're shown that Tom is having doubts and wants to DTR. His sister gives him great advice, and we get the scene where Summer says that she doesn't know what they are, but she's happy, which comes back quite soon to bite Tom and the viewer. We then jump to the turning point. Tom is being shown completely out of touch with Summer, and Summer wears black, showing that she's no longer in touch with Tom or herself. Summer banters in a way that shows exhaustion, and Tom tells her what she can and can't do, which of course is not what she wants. And then there's this moment.
We're just...
What? We're just what?
We're just...
No, don't pull that with me. Don't even try to... This is not how you treat your friend. Kissing in the copy room, holding hands in IKEA, shower sex? Come on, friends my balls.
I like you, Tom. I just don't want to release...
Well, you're not the only one that gets a say in this. I do too. And I say we're a couple. God damn it.
They go their separate ways soon enough, and we see them fully boxed in their own colors, showing complete separation. But Summer comes to visit to reaffirm that she'll leave Tom at a moment's notice, but they kiss and the music swells, so true believers hold fast. After this, we get a showcase of Tom consistently misjudging Summer's past relationships, showing his expectations of her to be wrong, this time in a fun, knowing way. And then there's the iconic penis game sequence, but unfortunately it doesn't entirely affect us here, so we're going to move along after just one. Okay, Tom and Summer go see the Giant. And then we cut ahead to see Tom watching films alone. He imagines himself in a few Bergman scenes, and then Tom and us literally wake up and then figuratively wake up to this moment.
I'm just saying that perhaps you could channel those energies into something like this.
Funerals and sympathy.
Misery, sadness, loss of faith, no reason to live. This is perfect for you.
Next, Tom plays the same scene as earlier with new dialogue to show how his perception has changed, though Summer has not. We get the blind date and this exchange of dialogue spelling out Tom's mistakes and the audience's misguided expectations, which of course are cut away immediately and ignored completely.
I'll explain a lot, actually.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah?
She never cheated on you.
No, never.
She ever take advantage of you in any way?
No.
And she told you up front that she didn't want a boyfriend.
Yeah. Let's get coffee. I have to.
Tom gets on a train and sees Summer, who asks to hang out. Luckily, Tom manages his expectations and accepts that this does not mean the utmost and that he needs to relax. Oh no. Is that sweet disposition? Oh no. Tom is not back in that moment where everything is going his way and he's sharing his life with this girl that he loves, but he really thinks he is. And yeah. There's some wedding stuff, and Tom gets invited to a party. We get the brilliant documentary on love, where the audience is given its closest opportunity to enjoy a traditional cute rom-com moment.
I think technically the girl of my dreams would probably have like a really bodacious rack, maybe different hair. Probably, she'd probably be a little more into sports. But truthfully, Robin's better than the girl of my dreams. She's real.
Within this, Tom is shown not even knowing what love is anymore, which directly leads to one of my favorite sequences in cinematic history, which I will simply let you experience without interruption.
Never ever saw it coming at all. Never ever saw it coming at all.
Tom walked to her apartment, intoxicated by the promise of the evening. He believed that this time his expectations would align with reality.
Hey, open wide your corners, original sin. Hey, open wide your corners, original
You look nice. Your tie. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So nice. Thank you. You shouldn't have. That's so nice. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm exaggerating.
So, Tom, what is it that you do?
I write greeting cards.
Tom could be a really great architect if he wanted to be.
That's unusual. I mean, what made you go from one to the other?
I guess I just figured, why make something disposable like a building when you can make something that lasts forever, like a greeting card? What?
It's so good. Okay, there's a lot here. The song's lyrics focus on the refrain, "I'm the hero of the story, no need to be saved," which heavily points to the fact that this film has not gone where the Tomdians, see what I did there, hoped and expected the film to go. His expectations hold strong until reality literally pushes them away, showing once and for all that we can no longer believe the lie that the film will just work out. The world falls apart because nothing goes as it quote unquote should have. It's all very forward in what it's doing, and yet it's subtle enough that analysis is heavily rewarded, which maybe you agree with at this point if you're this far in the video, I hope. We get some scenes of Tom Lane and his sadness and arrive at the moment I mentioned earlier where Tom acknowledges his misgiven expectations. Tom's sister tells him to look back on everything, not just the good stuff, which is the greatest advice you can give. So often in a relationship, we only look at what we enjoy, and only in hindsight can you see all the pain you are being caused. We see the ending of The Graduate, which takes us back to when Tom was a child. We see Summer see herself in the story, and then we arrive at the bench scene from the opening lines, and we get this moment of pain.
I just woke up one day and I knew.
Knew what?
What I was never sure of with you.
And from there, like it or not, everything is tied up, and the movie can end. Except the film has one last trick. Tom goes and applies for an engineering position and moves on. By the end of the movie, Tom has actually matured, met someone else, and quit his job that he hated to pursue the career he always wanted. This is the bit that I think people simply gloss over. I adore this film. I've been an outspoken celebrator of this movie for nearly a decade now, and my friends and family know that. And often, I'll be given a movie recommendation where someone says, well, this has a 500 Days of Summer ending, so you'll like it, but then I'll watch whatever movie and it'll just have a sad ending. 500 Days of Summer doesn't have a sad ending. It has done its darndest to take away the audience's misplaced hope, yes, but it allows the audience to put hope in better things. maybe 500 Days of Summer isn't a love story, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to celebrate in its ending. It's a story of growth and betterment and learning to manage your expectations of your life and your partner and not forcing a relationship that is just not meant to be. And if that ending and those morals to the story aren't what you expected, maybe at this point that's what you should have seen coming.